Hi, in this video I'm taking a look at the Ralph Lauren Marlow plain toe Bluchers in shell Cordovan. They're made by Crockett and Jones out of England, and these are pretty rare and unique in that they're sort of hard to find in limited production. They're also quite similar to the Alden plain toe Bluchers in terms of the Horween shell Cordovan that they use, although the color shade is not available in an Alden shoe. It's similar to a cigar, well, it's kind of a cross between cigar and Ravello Alden shell Cordovan. But I actually like this shade of brown better than both the cigar or the Ravello. It just has a really nice shade of brown. Also, Crockett and Jones manufacturing, in my opinion, is slightly above Alden in terms of the fit and finish and quality of the shoes in general. Let me go ahead and get rid of the box. That way we can just focus on the shoes. Now the last on these is quite similar to an Alden last, the Alden Berry last. They fit a little bit snugger than that though, however. So one thing that you want to consider if you're sizing these is if your foot is a bit wide, you might want to go to your true to size Brannock size. But if your foot is more of a normal or narrow, then your Alden Berry last size is going to be good on these, i.e. size down by 1/2 size. So for instance, on the Brannock, if you measure an 8.5D, on these, if your feet aren't wide, you probably want to just get an 8D, which would also be the same size I would recommend for you on the Alden Berry size. These are shell Cordovan, and the shell Cordovan is sourced from Horween out of Chicago, who have been in business for, I think, over 100 years or almost 100 years. I've talked about them a lot in other videos. I also have the wingtip version of these shoes as well, and I did a video on those a while back, so be sure to check that out. I'll try to link to it. So these are very similar to those. They're on the same last, I believe, and they fit very similarly. The only difference is that these are a plain toe Blucher, as you can see, versus the wingtip. They're both excellent shoes and have really good fit and finish. The sole is a double leather sole, and you've got the sort of split reverse storm welt here. These have the Goodyear welt, so they can be resoled, and should last, a lifetime. As you might be able to see, these shoes have a little bit of a less bulbous quality than, say, the Alden plain toe Bluchers, although not much. They're not a whole lot different. But these are really nice, and again, I like them even better than the cigar Alden plain toe Blucher shell Cordovan shoe. And when these came up, I just had to pick them up because I have basically been looking for these for quite some time. As you know, I'm a fan of shell Cordovan shoes because they're very low maintenance. They will maintain their shine for a long period of time without you having to really do anything. They also tend to last a lot longer and just look better aged than regular leather does. And for those who don't know or who may be new to what shell Cordovan leather is, it's basically a horse leather, and it's not really the skin of the horse. It's more of a membrane between the skin of a horse, and it's the rear quarters of the horse, basically like the horse butt area. It's very sturdy and strong, and the pores are a lot finer than regular leather, so that's why they sort of look nice and smooth and shiny, and they don't really tend to crease because it's so tough. They do fold as you wear them more, but they won't really crease and crack like leather. And it's just much more of a higher quality material than cow leather. Although it's quite expensive because shell Cordovan is pretty rare and getting more and more difficult to source as time goes on. But I really like the styling and look of these shoes for sure. As you can see, it's got the metal eyelets here, which is definitely a nice touch. And they're very comfortable and sturdy shoes, and I think can be dressed down and dressed up equally as well. So let me go ahead and put these on, that way you can get a sense of what they look like on. Okay, so this is what they look like, sort of a bird's eye view here. So Crockett & Jones is a British company, so these are made in England, but what's interesting is, the shell Cordovan is sourced from Horween, which is a U.S. company in Chicago, and the actual shell Cordovan hides themselves are sourced from either France or Canada. So these are sort of an international shoe in many respects. But yeah, these are a very nice shoe, and I'll probably do another video in a couple years so you can kind of get a sense of how they wear, because these are still pretty new. And but I don't expect that they're going to look that much different in a few years, just because of the fact that the shell Cordovan ages so nicely, and maintains the shine almost no matter what you do. In terms of caring for these, you probably don't even need to put any kind of polish or wax on them, hardly ever, maybe once a year. But basically, you would just brush off the dust and brush these, quite regularly. That helps bring out the embedded waxes and oils in the shell Cordovan. And then also use a damp cloth to wipe them, and then also buff them dry with a flannel cloth or shoe cloth, and that tends to shine them up quite nicely. So yeah, they don't really need a lot of maintenance or care or anything, but really quite an attractive shoe, as you can see here. And hopefully some of the colors are coming out in the video. It's kind of tough to show the color in the videos because just the limitations of the camcorder and stuff like that. But it's a really nice shade of brown, I must say. So thanks for watching this video, and be sure to check out my other men's fashion and shoe videos that I have in my channel. This has been my look of the Ralph Lauren Crockett & Jones Marlow Shell Cordovan Plain Toe Bluchers. See you in my next video, and take care.